Imagine being invited to the Norwegian Embassy. That's insane.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Gilles. I am Norway's ambassador to the Netherlands. And it's a pleasure to welcome you all very warmly to the Norwegian Embassy this morning, where we are going to have a very special conversation. Together with the Tourette Foundation here in the Netherlands, we are organizing this little event where we have 4 special guests, Anne, Zafania, Anna, and Marvin. And of course, we have a very special guest with us also digitally online, and that is Andreas, also known as TIX. He is Norway's representative to Eurovision, and we are online with him from Rotterdam. And if we can start with you right away, Andreas. You won a very resounding victory in the Norwegian pre-selection some weeks ago, the Melodi Grand Prix. A lot of people liked your song, and a lot of people were really touched by the message that you bring with you through your song. And I was wondering if you could say a little bit about your message, this message that you're now taking with you out into Europe.
Of course I can. Well, it's early in the morning. Let's get into it. Okay. Message. Well, basically, short and sweet, my message is that even your biggest weakness can in fact be turned into your greatest strength. And there's one thing I've been saying, and I said it in one of the press conferences, that you guys are not perfect, and you're never going to be perfect. That sounds kind of harsh, but what I mean to say is that it's exactly the imperfection that imperfection is exactly why you're so insanely valuable. The fact that you're different, and that difference can in fact be turned into something positive. I see some of you guys tixing now. That kind of makes me tick too, so that's kind of weird.
Oh, that's a beautiful message, Andreas. Anne, can we start with you? Can you say a little bit about yourself, and perhaps you have a question for Andreas?
Yes, I'm Anne-Linda, and yeah, I've been Tourette when I was 10 years old. And since then, I have my tics more out. Before I was holding them back a little. Yeah, now I know what it is, so I also know what I can do to it. Yeah, and I have a question for you. So you're a singer, but do you think you would also be a singer if you didn't have Tourette's?
You're asking if I think I would still be a singer if I didn't have Tourette's?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, the sound is kind of bad sometimes. All right. I think. Honestly, no. I don't think so. And that's not because I wouldn't have wanted to do it, but I don't think, because I think like every kid who grows up, at some point you dream about becoming famous or becoming an artist or an actor, you know? But I don't think I would have the drive to actually go through with it and stick to my dream. Because a big part of my motivation was to prove people wrong and to stand up for something that I really believed in. I was fighting and fighting and fighting for acceptance. And if I didn't have that motivation and that drive, I don't think I would have ended up becoming the artist that I am today. I might have, and also thing about my Tourette's is that it has made me insanely creative. And I know a lot of people with Tourette's can relate to that. It comes with both challenges, some pros and some cons. I get really restless, and it's hard to focus and concentrate sometimes. But on the other hand, when I'm brainstorming, I'm trying not to swear here, but yeah, I'm just gonna do it anyway. I'm fucking on fire when I'm brainstorming. And you know, the stage show for Eurovision was made in like 1 minute. It took me 1 minute of brainstorming, and the same goes for the music video. Boom, there it is. And well, I'm just rambling. I just keep on talking, but I definitely think that I wouldn't have ended up in the same position if I didn't have Tourette's. I'm absolutely certain about that. I would probably have given up along the way and found something else to do.
Thank you very much, Andreas. We'll then give the floor to Stefania if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Stefania. I'm 12 years old, and I got diagnosed. What?
You're 12?
Yes!
Your English is perfect.
Thank you. I got diagnosed when I was 10, and it was a really hard time for me because I all of a sudden got something like, here, you have Tourette's, and it was really weird to me because I never thought of it like that it could be something so tiny, because I saw it as like a swearing sickness or something, but I never saw myself as someone who had that. So it was really weird for me to get diagnosed, but now I have all these people around me, and it feels really great to be part of something too. And my question to you is, have you ever had a moment in your life when you thought you couldn't accomplish something?
I was waiting for the question.
Accomplish it, and how did you feel about that?
Hold on. What was the last part of the question?
How did you feel about it when you accomplished something you didn't think you could because of your Tourette's?
Okay. Okay. Still gonna be a long answer. But I'll try to keep it short and sweet. No, I won't. I'll just talk. I'm trying to remember one thing that I was afraid of not accomplishing, and I know there's one thing. First, I want to say that I never, ever doubted that I would become an artist. Never. And the thing is, kind of funny story. Because I tend to see opportunities in places where other people can only see challenges and problems. I was really good at school. I had great grades, but I was really exhausted after every school day. I just wore myself out completely, but I still got good grades. I was really good in math, and I remember this one time in it was high school. I think I was 17, maybe 18, and we were having in math class, we were like talking about I've never explained this in English before. Okay, we were talking about like probability, and I could basically do the math, and I could and I concluded with yeah, by doing math, I basically concluded with by the end of that math class, I was just so certain that the probability of me becoming an artist is actually like 150%. If I like, yeah, there should actually be 1.5 of me, and we would both be artists by the end of like 10 years. I don't know. Well, this was a really messy answer, but there's one thing that I was, yeah. So I was never afraid of not. Well, I might have been afraid, but I was still so certain that I would become an artist someday. Because I could see everyone else around me and how they would eventually give up, and they wouldn't take their dream that seriously. To me, I really had this burning desire to really, really, really accomplish this. This was the one thing I was going to do with my life, and I honestly think that in the music industry, especially in the Norwegian music industry, the only thing that separates you from a successful artist is whether you give up or not. But yeah, that was part of the answer. But here's the real answer. There is in fact one thing that I've been afraid of not accomplishing, and I remember it very clearly. I didn't remember this until I got the question. But I think I was 13, maybe I was 12, maybe 11, probably 12, 13. I remember having a conversation with my mom, talking to her about I basically said to her, "Hey mom, I don't think I'll ever get a girlfriend. I don't think I'll ever find someone who can love me and accept my tics. I don't think anyone will ever consider me normal. And most importantly, I don't think I'll ever find a girl that will like have children with me, someone who will marry me. I don't think that's like in the cards for me." And I honestly thought that for a long time, that I would eventually just have to accept the fact that I'm never gonna find anybody. And thinking back at it right now, it must have been heartbreaking for my mom to hear his son talk about himself this way. But I honestly believed that for a long time. So yeah, that's one thing. I did accomplish that though. Turns out people are actually nicer than you think. And the older you get, when you're in school, put it in like easy words, everything is basically a popularity contest. It's a hierarchy. But when you get out of school, the world is so different. Suddenly everything that matters when you meet new people is, are they nice or not? And turns out if you're nice to people, people are gonna like you a lot. So yeah, I eventually got a girlfriend, and I got myself another one, and another one. And as you might know by now, I'm working on another one. She's from Azerbaijan. All right, next question. Sorry, I get embarrassed when I'm talking. Yeah.
The next person now coming, Hannah, could you present yourself, please?
Hi, Andreas. My name is Hannah. I'm 20 years old, and I'm student 19, school grade, and I'm studying to be a teacher right now.
Really?
Was there something that the teacher could have done to
still more endurable?
That's a good question. Okay. That's a good question, and I gotta think about that for a while. Yeah. Okay. So luckily I had parents that would stand up for me, and well, we found out I had Tourette's when I was 5, maybe 6 years old. It started by me like coughing a lot, but I wasn't sick, so they thought I had something like in my throat, but turned out I was just like, yeah, it was just involuntarily. And so my mom and dad didn't know anything about Tourette's, but they managed to get their hands on as much info as possible, and they really tried to understand what I was going through, because like when you're trying to understand your 6-year-old kid, and he's frustrated because there's something that he wants to tell his parents, but he can't. He don't know the words for it, and he don't know his own feelings that well. It must have been really frustrating both for me and for them not to be able to understand each other. But they really tried to understand what I was going through, and they also tried to understand the fact that they can't understand everything. I think that's really important to know that this kid is going through stuff that is really hard to it's hard to deal with, and it's also hard to understand yourself. It's not that you as a teacher aren't able to understand it, but the kid himself isn't actually able to understand it either. But what my mom and dad did was they had like this. They had some like deep talks with my teachers, and I had a lot of good teachers along the way. Some teachers didn't really understand it. I remember once when my dad tried to film me with a camera in my room, and yeah, he had to film me when I was TIXing, because some of the teachers didn't believe that I had problems. They thought that my mom and dad were like making this up, or that I was making it up. But when I discovered that he was filming, I was so furious. So they ended up not showing it to the teachers. I think what some of my teachers did that was really important for me was they were patient with me. If sometimes I might have like acted out in class, or not acting out, but I was if I sometimes messed up, or I was talking when I wasn't supposed to talk, they would encourage me, of course, to keep quiet, but in a way that wasn't perceived as what do you say? What's the word for it? But they would encourage me to be quiet, but in a positive way. That's very good, Andreas, but we have to be quiet now. So not like, hey, be quiet. Because sometimes you're talking because you're just like forgetting to be quiet. But sometimes you actually can't control what you're saying. And also what my teacher did was standing up for me in conversations with other teachers. I remember sometimes we had substitute teachers. One time I was I had said something. It was like a comment that I didn't mean to say, but it just came out, and it didn't even make sense what I said. Yeah, I was basically about to be punished, and then when the teacher was talking to me, telling me to shut up, I rolled my eyes, and yeah, it was a mayhem. Yeah, and some of the other kids there, they took me in defense and said, "Hey, he can't help it." But that was like, those moments can be really traumatizing, especially in a young age. So my teachers, they really made an effort to try to understand what Tourette's is, and they tried to understand what they can't understand, and they also tried to make other teachers understand that, hey, this is my kid, you're not going to punish him for anything. If there's trouble with him, you're going to tell me, and I am going to be the one responsible. I am going to deal with it. I think that's really important for a kid with Tourette's, to have a safe environment and safe kind of like rules and guidelines.
Thank you, Andreas. We have one more guest, and that is Marvin.
Yeah, sorry, I'm talking way too much, but I hope you're enjoying your time. I am.
Hi, my name is Marvin. I'm 29 years old.
29, okay.
And yeah, I'm still studying, trying to struggle a little bit with trying to get along with life. But I had a question actually related to your superhero cosplay. I'm really wondering, like, in what way did you define like your superhero alter ego? Did you have some inspiration out of existing comic books, or did you have some inspiration from other parts? So how did you think came to look at becoming this, what do you say, superhuman version of yourself, and using that as the artist?
Oh, that's a difficult question. Well, TIX character has basically been made up pretty much along the way. At first, all I really knew was I wanted to become someone so different than the one that I was, the one I used to be. I picture myself a character that that will be proud of being considered different, and he might be considered different in different ways that I would be considered different. So while people, yeah, so I wanted to make this extremely popular character that was not afraid of anybody, that was not afraid of saying exactly what was on his mind. And a lot of times I say things when I'm like in the TIX character, I say things that you should never say out loud. Like no sane people, would ever say some of the stuff I say. But it's always nice stuff. It's just like really stupid sometimes. And I made this character that was not afraid of standing out. And it has happened. It took some time adjusting to that image because I wasn't confident in myself. So it took some time getting used to, okay, I'm going to try to be this other person. And I started, it started when I started in high school. That's like when I first started pretending I was somebody else, kind of. And then when I graduated from high school and started releasing music, then it really took off. And what was the second part of the question? How?
It was more like how did it define you as a person, or in the lines of some inspiration out of existing?
Oh yeah. No, I didn't really. I didn't really take inspiration from anything concrete out there. I more or less just imagined how I would like people to see me if I could change it, if I could design it myself. I wanted to create a character that people would admire for his uniqueness. I wanted to create the character that everybody would want to have as their best friend, basically. And the character that I would really have loved to have as my best friend. The guy who would stand up for me, a guy that would not care what other people said, but he would still take other people's opinions into consideration, but who is still his own master, I guess. Yeah, so the inspiration was kind of, like I said earlier, when I'm brainstorming, it's a fucking chaos in here. Sometimes it's hard to sort my thoughts, but yeah. I hope that answers the question. That was a difficult question, though.
Okay, time is going very quickly. Thank you so much to our guests here.
Wait, can I ask you guys something?
Sorry?
Can I ask you guys something, please? I'm wondering, do you guys see anything positive with your Tourette's, with your tics? Is there anything that you can think of that is a pro instead of a con?
Anna, I saw you nodding.
Yeah.
You want to say something?
Yeah, sure. I think that
Sorry, you gotta speak a little louder. No worries.
about Tourette's with the creative process.
Mm-hmm.
I think a raging mind is a powerful mind. So, yeah, I think that's very positive to be creative.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Marvin, did you want to add something?
Actually, the same, like the creative process and chaos.
Oh, that's cool.
That's something that I can identify myself with as well.
Wow.
Creative process.
Zafani, would you like to say something else?
Yes, I think that it's also something that makes you different than other people in a positive way. And I personally find it, special. It makes me who I am, and it also makes me different than other people, and it makes me maybe less boring than other people too.
Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful. Anna, would you like to say something at the end?
Yes, definitely it's something that makes me special, and I'm very creative. I'm way too much at ease, and I can carry very fast, so that's just that easy with games like Libretto. Yeah, I'm very good in that game because of my current aspirations.
Yeah. Oh, that's so nice to hear, you guys. I've talked to some. I've talked to some people that still hadn't found their gifts, that hadn't discovered their gifts yet. Because I really think Tourette's is a gift in a lot of ways. It comes with some challenges, but those challenges can be overcome, even though it's it can be exhausting sometimes at times. But yeah, imagine how lucky we are sometimes. Our minds tend to work at a whole different level than a lot of other people. I love the chaos.
Thank you so much, Andreas. We shall now end the YouTube part of this conversation. Thank you so much to our guests for being here. Thanks so much to you, Andreas, and we wish you all the best in Rotterdam. And can we ask you, Andreas, to stay online? We'd like to do a group picture with you. And thank you to everybody who followed us on YouTube. And have a good day, everyone.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. It was really, really nice to talk to you.